Welcome to Pitching to the Press, how to boost your brand's media coverage. The session is going to run from 9:30 until 10 with about a 15-minute presentation and then a Q&A. A couple of housekeeping notes before we begin. I'm actually hearing impaired, so if you want to get in touch with me, you're going to need to put things in the chat. If anyone needs any adjustments themselves, let me know in the chat or privately. You can take notes, but there's a really comprehensive one-page download available through the swap card registration and Freelance Business Month. And it's also in a Linktree URL, which I'll drop into the chat as well. And as I said, I'll answer questions at the end. You're welcome to connect with me at the Freelance Business Month platform or through LinkedIn afterwards if you'd like to chat a little bit more. So today we're going to go through the press pitching process for freelance and small businesses and solos, etc. So by the end, you're going to know how to prepare for publicity, how to write a great press release, and how to respond to any press interest that you get. So who am I? Why should you listen to me? I'm Sadhbh Warren, that's pronounced Sadhbh, like five, and I'm a freelance content writer and project manager with over 20 years of experience writing for media and business. Basically, I help businesses to get seen. I specialize in business writing, digital marketing strategy, website writing, ghostwriting features, and things like that. Pieces I've written or ghost written recently. I have appeared in magazines, national newspapers, and on the radio, recently in Ireland, Australia, Singapore, and the UK. So I find a lot of business owners are amazing when they're speaking about their business, but they struggle to come across when they write. So I work with them to polish up their ideas, sift through the information to find that really good story that the media might be interested in, and to create writing for them that gets results. I write them content that sounds as good as they do on their best day, if that makes sense. So writing press pitches and articles is a big part of my job. For businesses that want to strengthen their brand and attract audiences, media coverage can be a massive boost, but only when they're actually prepared for it. So there's a lot more to it than just writing a release. There's a process. Has anyone here tried sending out a press release and just had it fall into the void, taking the energy and time that you put in with it? So yeah, we're going to learn how to avoid that today. So basically, if we're going to move on with this now, there we go. All right, we're going to talk about how to prepare for publicity, how to write a great press release, and respond to press interest. We will cover the writing of press releases, but also a lot of the really important steps that people often miss, like we're talking about the longer term goal of getting the media to come to you and work with you more often so you don't have to work as hard to get good publicity, and how to build a good working relationship with them so they come to you for comment. So is everyone ready to go? Lovely. So media coverage can be a big boost, but before you get to writing press pitches, you need to make sure you're prepared to take advantage of the publicity that comes to you. So look, what's the purpose of getting into the media at all? Why do you want to be in the paper or on that podcast? Generally, it's not that you want to be in the paper, it's that you want to connect with a new audience and build your brand. So are you ready to connect with a new audience? Are you prepared to make the most of the attention? So we'll start with a very, very simple question, which is, what do people find online when they find you? If someone were to read about you and look you up, or they come across your content, they're going to look at your profile and your website. What are they going to find there? What do you want them to do now that you have them there? Thinking about this in advance is vital for achieving press release goals. If your ideal client comes knocking, are you making it easy for them to buy from you? Are your various forms of digital presence really clear about who you are, what you do, and who you do it for? And this is the good bit, what they should do next. A lot of businesses don't actually have this information easily available in their profile, so it's time to review yours. I do a lot of social media tune-ups and audits, and the first bit of advice I give every client is never make it hard for people to give you money. Be clear what you're selling, be easy to contact, and be easy to buy from. Optimize your basics. Can people get hold of you and buy from you? Look at your website and really ask yourself, am I making it hard for people to give me money? Every bit of friction that you create lowers the odds of getting that sale. So is your Insta bio broken, or does it link to a broken site, or not have a way to contact you? Are you insisting on phone calls in office hours to discuss basic information when people are already online and trying to buy from you? If you sell, is your checkout process a nightmare? 40% of people abandon their cart when a checkout process is too long or complex. If your site loads more slowly than in 3 seconds, 40% of customers will bounce. If it doesn't work well on a mobile, you've lost about 60%. So check your setup, look at your digital platforms with a really fresh eye, update your bios and websites so the customers can find it really easy to contact you. Make a list of every single digital profile that you have, and then ask someone to read through them with you. Okay? Check if they your brand name, what you do and who it's for, how to contact you, and then because that person visiting you is still on the fence, what they should do next. What do you want people to do immediately after seeing your posts and going to your profile? This is called a call to action, and it is an absolute must for any bit of content that you write. A call to action gives people clear direction on how to take the next step you want them to take, whether that's signing up to a release mailing list or buying from our website. It should have a hook for them and a benefit for your business. Join our mailing list? No. Something like 10% off with our mailing list, you get pre-release access to cool stuff with the mailing list. That's a bit more exciting. A good call to action clearly tells interested visitors what you want them to do next and what's in it for them. It's worth changing your call to action every couple of months, seasonal sales, push new stuff. So before you even think about pushing your press release out there, make sure you're ready for any attention when it comes to you. Get your profile super clear and make sure you have contact details and a call to action on each and every single one of them. They have read your content. They are looking right at you. What should they do next? Give them a good reason. All right. So now we are finally ready to get on to the business of writing press releases. All right. So getting into the press isn't luck. It's a combination of timing and prep. And that's why publicists get paid so much. They can easily deliver results. It's not actually that hard. I've done a lot of press releases and a lot of ghostwriting for pictures and articles. And I can tell you, to get the media interested, you need two things. You need to be relevant to them. You need to make their job really, really easy. You need to be relevant, reach the right people at the right time, and give them a story with a hook that's going to connect to their audience. You need to make their job really easy by making that hook super obvious and including all the details that they need in your pitch. So what's relevant? What publications? What sites should you be looking at? Start with your ideal audience. Think about your customers, who you want to reach, where they get their news. Start a scrapbook of articles on businesses like yours. What's the angle? Who's writing it? If you read something and think, oh yeah, that could have been about me, hang on to it for inspiration. Look at magazines and national supplements tailored for your audience. Note the writers and editors who cover them. Consider local publications as well for local customers, radio, production companies, maybe for TV and afternoon shows. And you can look online at podcasts and websites as well. Keep track of writers, editors, content creators, and connect with them if you can on social media. Instagram's probably quite good for that, actually, and LinkedIn and TikTok are good too. Follow them, read them, comment where appropriate, and that way they might recognize you when you reach out with your pitch. So bear in mind, when you do reach out with your pitch to the media person, you're not pitching to them individually. You are pitching to the audience that they're writing for or talking to. You need a hook that connects with the audience and that benefits the audience. And timing is absolutely key. For big outlets, don't pitch Halloween when the shops are already on Christmas, basically. You've got to think long term. If you want national papers and magazines interested, you need to make contact at least 3 months out. Autumn and Christmas trends are gone at that point. So right now they're looking at spring, for example. But if you're looking at stuff like local media and local websites, it's easier to try. It's okay to try for a month. And Halloween in November will be a little bit topical now. But bear in mind that the longer that they have to plan, the more likely they are to cover you. So we're going to talk about hooks now. How do you come up with a story that will get seen and an angle that readers care about? Well, look, really put yourself in the audience's shoes. What are they reading about at the moment? What's trending? What's interesting? What's topical? What do people want when they read the media? They don't want a press release. They want to connect with a story. The biggest mistakes that businesses make when they write a press release is thinking that they are the star of the piece. We've launched a new product. Who cares? The star of the story is always how it connects with the audience. How will this new project change someone like theirs life? If the audience doesn't connect or care, they won't bother reading, watching, or listening. They're gone. So to see what they're connecting with, you can look at things like popular recent pieces in your area. You can look at SEO tools like Answer the Public to see what questions people are asking. You could combine a regional or a national idea with international trends. For example, local publications often like to take, larger trends like sustainability and focusing on a local product. And you can link into societal issues, respond and talk to trends and stories that are currently in the newspaper. Yeah, look, chat with your friends and your customers ideally. Are they interested in talking about the thing you're talking about? Then you probably have a story. So if you've done your prep, you have an idea, how do you actually write a press release? So a great pitch or press release nails 3 things: the purpose, the hook, and the photos. Now, you got to lead with the purpose, the big news. Is it a new brand, a product, a service, an award win, a collaboration? This is your headline, and everyone who reads it should understand exactly what they're going to read about next in the piece. Then you highlight the hook for the audience. Are you different, better, topical, local, special? How? Think about how the story connects with and benefits the audience. Why do they need to know this, or why should they care? Your release should tell a story. How do you want the reader to feel? Do you want them to be interested and excited by something innovative, trying to work out where to get ideas from? And in general, look at previous pieces that have been covered in the media and see what's currently local and topical. Your release should tell a story. How are you going to make the audience feel about it? And a good idea is to structure your release the way the publication will write it. So if you find an article that is exactly what you want, which is, new business does amazing coffee, just try putting your name into it and starting there as a starting point for your press release, because that way when you send it into the publication, they have something that's already in a usable format that they recognize. Don't plagiarize, obviously, don't plagiarize, but use the previous formats to start the structure of your press release. So you need to focus on the audience's experience. For example, I recently did a release for an accountancy award. We pitched that as not local business wins accountancy award, because who cares, is that local businesses are finding it very difficult at the moment in these times. So with expert advice, we helped this one local business to really do a great job. And by the way, we're award winning, and that got covered widely, and it came across really well. So formatting notes, it varies from country to country, but the very basics are: make sure each page has a press release, has the date and your contact details on it. Make it easy to read. Consider using like 3 bullet points at the top of the main page. And if you want to find a press release format that works really well for your niche, think of your most famous competitor and Google for their most recent releases, because they work. So there's additional add-ons like photos and a press pack. You need to send photos that will appeal to the emotion. If you're emailing, send low res, because it'll basically bounce out of their inbox otherwise, but include links to access high res shots, such as in a Dropbox. You could consider having a press pack with your brand's backstory, high res images. You could put your key staff, your product bios and stuff like that. Anything useful, you can keep it in a Dropbox. Now, I know I'm flying through this very, very fast, but this is all covered in the handout, I promise. So the other style notes would be get it proofread. That's very important. I saw a service provider talking about their attention detail for clients, and they had 3 spelling mistakes in their first 2 sentences. It was not a good look. So don't scattergun. Tailor every single pitch to the person you're pitching to, unless you are very famous or unless you have a story that is so amazing they're paying you for it. You're going to need to talk to people individually. Get a name if you can, send it to a section rather than an editor. Pitch your preferred publications and sites first, and you could consider whether you should offer them exclusivity, whether your story can wait or whether it's so topical it needs to go to multiple places at the same time. Keep it under 2 pages. Get a proofread, send in the journalist's working hours. Okay? And if nothing else, really important one, guys, spell their name right. Don't spell their name wrong. It's a big one. A lot of people fall at that hurdle. So look, it's about building trust and a relationship so they come to you. Be polite, be punctual, be reliable. Once your pitch is out there, you need to be ready to respond. Check your messages and your email at least twice every weekday for media interest. And if someone from the media is interested, what do? Look, the golden rule is answer fast, as soon as you can. Think today rather than in the next week. They might be writing on an issue months away, but their deadline is usually in days or even hours. Keep your word and be punctual. It's fine to say, I'll get back to you tomorrow, as long as you actually do. Look, I know there's a lot in this, but I promise it's all covered in the handout. There you go. It's from start to finish. So even if they do contact you, don't expect coverage, especially with print publications and TV. Editors and advertisers can make really big changes in the last minute. Writers might not cover you this time, but they will remember you. Don't ask for final approval of a piece. It won't happen. You're not a Kardashian. You just have to understand, if you've researched the publications, you know what sort of stuff they write and how they write it. You have to trust them to do their job. They will not give you final approval on a piece. If they promote you, try to remember to share the story on social media, keep it for your press pack, and always say thank you. Keep building that good relationship with them. Mention them on LinkedIn, thank you to X for covering us or this wonderful article. If you've got another story for them, you could then send on relevant information or stories in the future. If you didn't get covered, no, look, that's okay. You can look for other outlets. You can rework as things become topical. Like you can look ahead for social media holidays, for example. November is Men's Health Month. So, for example, this is a good time to tell stories related to that. You've New Year's coming, and often you've smaller days. Checking my content calendar, give me a tick. I post on social media. We have in November coming up, we have Vegan Day, Stress Awareness Day, STEM Day, World Kindness Day, International Men's Day, World Children's Day, and Small Business Saturday. So any of those could be good things to hang a post on. The other thing, obviously enough, that's coming up is Black Friday. And you don't have to go with something. You can also be contrarian. Black Friday might actually be a great day for a sustainability story. This Black Friday will generate this much waste, so we want to produce something that will never end up in landfill, etc. You can go against a trend, and that's often more interesting than going with it. Look, it doesn't have to be a Pulitzer Prize winner. It just needs to be interesting to their audience and sent to the media at the right time. That's it. That's all of it, honestly. So look, you can see that creating business stories is a journey, not a once-off. You should be optimizing your profiles in case your ideal customer calls by. Be contactable, be relevant, have a clear call to action. Once that's done, use a press release to tell a story with a hook and include the details that they need when they need it. Reach out to the media with a timely and relevant press piece that's tailored to their audience. If they contact you, be your best self. Be professional, punctual, and deliver on your promises. Build a relationship. If they cover you once, they may well cover you again. Make them remember you for the right reasons. One good trick is put a media contact on your contact page and the bullet point the topics that you're willing to talk to the media about. This shows that you're ready to engage. Let them come to you when they need you instead of the other way around. Okay. So I realize I have covered a lot here very, very fast. There is that comprehensive one-page download I keep talking about, and it's available through the swap card registration there. If you'd like more information, I'm always up for a quick chat to talk about your situation, give you pointers. You can contact me through Freelance Business Month. I'm on LinkedIn, and I have a Linktree URL that I'll just drop into the chat now as well. So you've got the know-how, you know where to get more information, and you are well on your way to writing a really good press release.